Hello everybody, I'm Billy Bourbon. Welcome to Living the Dream. This is a show about the musicians who keep playing, slugging away in the bars, doing home recordings, putting out videos on YouTube and the like. Just because that's what we do. I hope you like the show. If you do, please subscribe and that'll let you know that when the next episode is coming. This is episode 4 featuring a local musician, a regional musician named Bob Dorr. All right, I'm Billy Bourbon, and I'm talking with my new friend, Mr. Bob Dorr. And we're
welcome back to Iowa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is the 4th episode of Billy Bourbon's Livin' the Dream, and the context of Livin' the Dream is fellows of a certain age who have, kept playing. One of the things I noticed when I was young, and I was watching players and bands and trying to learn and come up, as they say, I noticed guys would get around 38, 40 years old and they'd put the guitar underneath their bed and never play again. Good players, professional players. And I always wondered, at 21, I always kind of wondered, why would they do that? And now I'm well past that age and it didn't happen to me. So that's kind of what prompted the idea for the show. It had been a nugget in my mind for a long time. And now we have YouTube and we can do it fairly easily. And
nice.
And here we are. So,
well, like John Lee Hooker said, if it's in there, it's got to come out.
That's right.
And so, that's the thing for me. And I don't know any better. I started playing my Sudlow Junior High School mixers in the 8th grade. And this year I will be playing my high school 50th reunion. So my career has taken off from Sudlow Junior High School to right now. It's pretty much the same.
If you'll recall, in the bar,
and we made better money when we were in junior high school.
In the bar interview I did with you, you told me the story of winning the contest and then going to. So that'll be
the Henry County Fair.
That'll be on the show too. So
nice.
And we got interviews with your guys in the band there too. Now that band that I saw you with, that I have you filmed with, the name of the band is
Limestoners.
The Limestoners, and they contain.
That's the guitar player that I've played with for now 38 years, Jeff Peterson. Between he and I, we have 6 Iowa Music Halls of Fame inductions. And Doug Norton, who was the last blue band bass player for the last 6 years of that band, and now he's in his 7th year playing with us in the little trio thing.
And they are both phenomenal players.
They're fantastic and wonderful people.
Yeah, well, you'd have.
It's about the hang,
Yeah, if you to be with somebody 38
I'd
years,
rather hang with pretty cool people than prima donnas who are the best in the planet.
If you're going to be on with somebody for 38 years, you don't want to be them to be an asshole.
Well, this guy has been. I got nothing without Jeff Peterson. I diddle around on the drums and I play mediocre harmonica. So without that guy, I got nothing going on.
Are you a songwriter? Do you write songs?
I wrote a lot of songs, or a lot more songs, in the early part of my career. Really have not in the last 5 years, 6 years. No.
Well, any reasons why not? Have you dwindled it off, or just lost interest, or?
It was a career change from managing a kind of 7, 8-piece moving circus for 36 years into this transition of a trio and trying to make a living at what we're doing, and musical transitions. I'm way off into, if it ain't the blues, it ain't.
Well, that was one of my other, that was one of my other questions for you.
Those two have had to dumb down their aspirations to play in that little trio with me.
That was one of my questions. Have you ever been in like a rock band or a reggae band or a country band or anything like that? Or has it always been the blues for you?
Well, the blue band was for 36 and a half years, kind of an offshoot of that, but all in the end, original band and big band, horn band, that kind of thing. And
now, are there CDs available from that still? Or?
CDs, DVDs. There was the video of the last show done as a fundraiser for Iowa Public Television at that time. Now it's Iowa PBS. Mm-hmm. And there's DVDs of those available through Iowa PBS.
I'll look that up and list it on the credit.
If I got one in the car, I'm going to leave one with you, so you
cool.
have some video on that.
Excellent.
What the blue band was at the end of its 36 and a half year run: 2 drummers, 4-piece horn section, 5 singers, washboard player, so Hammond organ player. And it was fun, but it was large.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I understand because
in a 2-piece market, trying to travel around with a 10-piece, do-your-own production circus is financially and emotionally challenging.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people a lot of times, they ask, how do you keep a band together, and how do you do that? And I said, well, there's give and take, and people know their roles. But most of my bands have been 3, sometimes 4-piece, and 3-piece is easier than 4-piece because you have less personalities, so I can imagine what 8 pieces is or 10 pieces is like.
Just the logistics towards the end of people having demands on their time other than being in the band business.
Sure,
together.
yeah. As you grow older, you have a life.
They have
and you have
children.
a wife,
they have grandchildren. They have retirement commitments to people. I mean, over 36 years, you get to see a lot of them come and go.
Sure.
And so they become my family. I don't have children. And so the kids that come and go through that thing are like my kids.
Sure.
So that was really a cool thing. But in the end, trying to manage all that and fiscally be able to afford to have a large entourage like that just became more of a challenge than I was up to. I gave it up mostly because it became about business rather than about music.
Yeah.
And
if it ain't fun.
Exactly. And I really needed to come back to doing what I truly love, and that's playing blues, standard 3-chord and variation American blues.
And you do it well.
Together one last time for an encore performance. It's Bob Dorr and the Blue Band.
Hey, Patty C, won't you love me tonight? I say, Patty C, won't you kiss and hold me tight? Girl, that just ain't no doubt about it. Just don't want to go on without it. Patty C, won't you love me tonight? Well, Patty, 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 won't you be my girl? Baby, 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 won't you in my world? Patty, 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 hear me when I say, hey, baby, baby, need your loving today. I said, Patty C, won't you love me tonight? I say, Patty C, won't you kiss and hold me tight? Girl, there just ain't no doubt about it. Just don't want to go on without it. Patty C, won't you love me tonight? your style, baby, 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 come and stay a while. Patty, 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 promise I'll be true. Baby, 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 I just need you now. Patty C, won't you love me tonight? I say, Patty C, won't you kiss and hold me tight? Girl, there just ain't no doubt about it. Just don't want to go on without it. Patty C, won't you love me tonight? I say, Patty C, won't you love me tonight? Oh yeah, 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 Patty C, won't you love me tonight? Thank you very much.
Billy Bourbon here, living the dream with my friend Tommy. One of the cool things about being our age and still being in the music business is that we've accumulated equipment, and in the modern age, you can record anywhere. We're in Tommy's studio. Do you have a name for your studio?
No, and I was just thinking about that. It does not have a name. I should give it a...
You should christen it somehow.
I should.
Well, we'll have to work on that for a few. If you have any suggestions for Tommy's studio name, please
You don't
put it down in the
that.
suggestion box below. We'd really love you if you do that.
Yeah, you realize what's going to happen now.
I hope so. So we're working on a song, and Tommy's one of my favorite people because he comes up. He has, and I hope you don't take this wrong, but he has odd thoughts. He has unique ideas. Let's put it that way. That's a better way to put it. And with a home recording studio, which means you don't have to pay hours, huge piles of money per hour, you can experiment.
It gets pretty dangerous.
Yeah. And that's what he's been doing. So the thing for today is what he told me, and I'll let him tell a little bit more about it here in a second, is what he told me is he wants me to come in and do a spoken word piece that he'll put on at the end of the song. And my main thesis is, I don't like your tie.
Right. Because that's the name of the song. And he's really good at doing that sort of thing. And I just thought it would be really cool to have something kind of center left on the end of the song where he just starts talking at random. But here's the fun part. I'm not going to let him hear any of the lyrics until he's done talking. So what he says might go with the lyrics and it might not. It could be that Picasso hammer and orange thing.
Right.
So,
see, I kind of envision the almost a Zappa-esque central scrutinizer.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it comes out.
Yeah.
But that's what we're working on today. And then a little bit later, we're going to go to have a jam at Rumors, and we'll have some footage of that too.
Yes, we will.
Living the dream.
Ice maker, yoga mat, heartbreaker. Worried about the landfill, shopping at the Goodwill. Going to a caucus, gonna raise a ruckus. Looking for a savior to keep her out of danger. Ballad box, bad guy looking through a cat's eye. Watching that stock drop, futures in the pawn shop. Puffing that cigar, must have made it somehow. Gonna have a good time, see ya in the bread line. Cut the bottle belt, roadside hand job, thinking I ain't Truman and you ain't Lincoln. You come around here with that stillborn look in your eye, 'cause I don't like your tie. Filibuster flim flam sitting in
a straight face, filling out a bank slip, cashing in a blue chip, got an Anastarde, gonna have a party. Cut the Bible Belt roadside hand job, thinking I ain't Truman and you ain't Lincoln. Don't come around here with that stillborn look in your eye, 'cause I don't like your tie. Byzantine claptrap sirens on the on-ramp, headed for a showdown, just another hoedown. Betting on a shamrock, bodies in a crosswalk, just another smoothie, dysentery movie. Cut the Bible Belt roadside hand job, thinking I ain't Truman and you ain't Lincoln. Don't come around here with that stillborn look in your eye, 'cause I don't like your tie. Cut the patty melt crossfire, dead-eyed winking. I ain't stupid and you ain't thinking. Don't come around here with that stillborn look in your eye, 'cause I don't like your tie. I don't like your tie. I don't like your tie.
You know, I used to have a tie like that when I was a kid. Then Dad got a job. Is that a tie? I thought you just forgot your napkin from that buffet on 5th Street. Have you ever noticed how much a tie resembles a noose? Here, let me tighten that for you. I don't like your tie.
I feel like I just journeyed to the center of the earth, man. That was like cool.
Like a lot of working musicians, I play in more than one band. I've got my own band, Billy Bourbon Band, and I've got the Mandela Effect that I play with, and working on a couple other projects on the outside as well. So the trick is to keep working. It's a gig economy. Here's a clip from my band, the Billy Bourbon Band, doing an old John Lee Hooker tune. It's a warm summer evening, about 1965. I was just a little boy child, newly arrived. Window is open, the breeze is blowing in. I heard Mama and Papa talking. This is what my mama was saying. Mama said, I'm worried about that boy. That boy's got the boogie in him. My daddy, he just laughed. He said, I know the boy's got the boogie in him, girl. I put it there myself. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. And I loves the way you walk, and I loves the way you talk. When you walk that walk, and you talk that talk, I'm gonna shoot you right down, right off your feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. How, 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 how. Hey, hey. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. And I loves the way you walk, and I loves the way you talk. When you walk this walk, and you talk this talk, I'm gonna shoot you right down, right off your feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. How, 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 how. Hey, hey. Hey everybody, thank you for the Brother Bourbon Band. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Amber. Everybody else. Billy Bourbon here, living the dream with a several-time member, inductee into the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Blues Hall of Fame.
Just two. Yeah, that too.
2 times.
Yeah.
And one rock and roll and 1 blues, right? Is that right? Okay.
No, 2 rock and rolls and 1 blues.
2 rock and rolls and 1 blues. He's good.
My cup runneth over.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how you say this, if he's Bob Dorr's guitar player or if Bob Dorr's his drummer, but y'all have been playing together quite a while.
Yeah, Bob's given me a job for 38 years, so I'm his guitar player.
You're just the fill-in guy, but he calls you every week, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So you guys been playing just in Southeast Iowa all this time?
No, we've. You mean with the blue band too?
Yeah. Well, yeah,
no,
I know.
No, we've been all over.
Well, I guess when I'm in the show, Living the Dream, the fundamental idea is people who have kept playing after they've after maybe their 20-year-old rock and roll fantasies
Gotcha.
didn't come true.
Okay.
And they keep playing because really they can't do anything else. They don't want to do
Don't
anything
do
else.
anything else.
Yeah.
Not a thing.
Those are the people that we're trying to talk about, and I think
Cool.
you're one of those people.
Probably be me, yeah.
Now, have you had other jobs, outside jobs, regular jobs, straight jobs?
Not really. When I was a kid, I worked on a golf course for a summer. I worked in a corn processing plant for a summer, and that's about it.
Well, I've been just relying on music as an income after I waited until my kids got grown up, and then I've been doing it almost 20 years now. And people ask me a lot, how do you do it? And I always tell them I don't spend any money because I don't have any.
Yeah, it's hard to spend it if you don't have it.
But on the other hand, since you're out in the bars all the time on your work environment, you don't really feel like going out, so it's not that big a deal.
Exactly.
And now I'm of an age where I don't even drink anymore, so it's not really a fundamental.
The bedtime gets a little earlier.
Yeah,
every year.
that too.
Yeah.
So, if you're going out to a gig, what's one thing you would fundamentally never go to a gig without?
Oh, well, I've used the same guitar for 48 years now, so
You're a one guitar guy.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've heard of people like you.
Well, we don't have any money.
Well, I see that guitar is in pretty good shape. You've kept it up,
It actually worn it out 2 or 3 times. This last time, the guitar repair guys were like, "Yeah, this is going to take some work," but they got it back together.
Okay, then the opposite.
That was about 8 years the last time it was rebuilt.
So the opposite question is, what would you never take to a gig?
Oh God, I don't know. Never take to a gig. I have no idea.
You'd be amazed how many people say wives.
Oh,
girlfriends.
no, my wife comes a lot.
Actually, she's dancing, man.
Yeah, no,
cool.
she's a real trooper. Yeah, we got married about 30 years ago, and at the time I told her, you probably want to come along for a year or two, and then
What I always told people, there's an arc. When they first meet you, it's really cool for you to be in a band. They're carrying your guitars in and driving you home when you're drunk. And then it arches up, and then one day, sometime along the path, they'll say, "Honey, the girls are going bowling tonight. I think I'm just going to not go to the gig. I'll meet you at home."
And that's the way I thought I was going to be with her, but she's, all these years, she comes whenever she can.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I can't figure that one out.
Well, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you talking to me.
Thanks, Billy.
And I'll tell you when the show's on, and
Excellent.
we'll keep living the dream. Billy Bourbon here, living the dream. I'm with Doug.
Yep.
I got it right?
Yep.
Jeez. Well, we don't know each other that well, but we've played a few times, played a few gigs. As you can tell, he is a bass player. Now, as I was talking to him, the other guy, Jeff. I was talking to Jeff, and I said, I don't know whether to call you Bob Dorr's bass player, or is Bob Dorr your drummer? I guess you guys all work for Bob because he's the boss.
Yep. He's the leader, man.
Yeah. How long have you been playing?
I've been playing for 40 years.
Now, do you have any other full-time job or anything else you got to
Yes,
do?
I do. I work in Cedar Rapids as a branch supervisor at a plumbing supply place called First Supply.
All right, little plug there.
Yep, for all you plumbers.
So, the thing is with living the dream, the idea is that people who keep playing, even though their rock and roll fantasies have not come to fruition
Yes.
yet.
Yet. It could happen.
It could happen. Well, lightning strikes, you got to stand in the rain, man.
Never know. You never know.
So anyway, what is something you would not play a gig without? I mean, obviously you got your bass rig and stuff, but something you always have.
My gig fan. I gotta have my fan,
Your
man.
fan. You
I got a fan sitting right at my feet, blowing straight up at me. That way, it always just,
like I come from Texas, and that is every player, every instrument has their own fan.
Especially a handy one you can plug stuff into.
That's right, the extension cord fan.
Yep.
Okay, is there something you would never take to a gig?
No, I can't think of anything really.
These guys
Never
these
take
guys
to
are
a gig.
these guys are amenable. I had people give all kinds of answers, man.
Well, I'd take my wife, I'd take my kids, I'd take my friends, I'd take my family, I'd take it all.
He brings his enemies and they beat the shit out of him.
Enemies? I don't know enemies.
He don't have no enemies. He's a bass player. Bass players can work anywhere. Hey man, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
You bet, dude. Thanks for
jamming
talking to me.
tonight.
Yep.
Billy Bourbon, living the dream here with Bob Dorr. Now, Bob's been doing this a long time here in Iowa, although I hate to rub that in, but he has.
I don't know any better.
He's an icon, and he can't stop. And that's kind of what living the dream is about.
Indeed.
It's about people who keep playing even though their rock and roll fantasies have
Evaporated.
Well, at least they become mature enough to know that it might not happen. But we keep playing anyway. Oftentimes because we can't really do anything else.
That's my problem.
Or don't want to,
Yep.
So
don't know any better.
how long have you been playing about with you now? Like many bands.
The first time I ever made a buck playing music, I was 14 and played in Andalusia, Illinois, because my band Tortoise and the Hare from Sudlow Junior High School in Davenport won the daily competition at the Henry County Fair in Henry County, Illinois. And our prize was a gig in Andalusia. And then when we got there, we were all 14 and 15 years old, and they didn't know what to do with us. And then they kind of went, well, are any of your parents here? And we said no, and they said, well, in that case, come on in.
Oh, really? I thought maybe the no parents thing would kill
Don't
the gig.
tell on me, though. Don't tell on me. They'll be after me 55 years later or whatever that is.
Is there anything that you always take to a gig besides your instruments and stuff?
Well, the first rule of show business is always take your wallet on stage.
Always take the wallet on stage.
Yeah.
Now, there's some advice for you.
Whether it's empty or not, you should take your wallet on stage.
That's good. I like that. That's a fundamental thing.
Most people think the first rule of show business is the show must go on. The show goes on after you take your wallet on stage.
Thank you, Bob Dorr. Appreciate you. Thanks for letting
Billy,
me jam
you are a
tonight.
nice man. You sounded great. If the river was whiskey and I was a diving duck. 2, 1, 2, hey. And I was a diving duck down the river of whiskey, and I was a diving duck. You know I died to the bottom. I never, ever come up. You know the sun's gonna shine in my back door. Sun gonna shine in my back door someday. Gonna rise up and blow my nasty blues away. Let me try that one. Put your arms around me like a circle around the sun. Put your arms around me like a circle around the sun. Oh yeah. Now won't you love me, pretty mama, like your easy rider does. Come on, Doug.
sidetrack on the TV line. Let me be your sidetrack to your main line. Oh yeah, I'm a Joe rolling daddy, rolling from sun to sun, rolling sun. Thank you.
As everybody knows, I love me some Al Hendricks, and every once in a while we catch him telling a joke. Here, check this out.
I was down in the Amish country probably a month ago. I was talking to this lady, and she said she was driving her horse and buggy down the road, and a highway patrolman pulled her over. And she says, well, what's the matter? He says, well, you driving these buggies, and they got to have reflectors on the back. Well, one of the reflectors evidently fell off of your buggy, so you got to have it replaced. She said, well, okay, that's no problem. He said, also, I noticed one of the reins seems to be tangled around the horse's testicles, so you might have that checked out too. So she goes on home, pulls into the yard, tells the old man, yeah, highway patrolman stopped me and said I need another reflector on the back. He said, that's no problem, I got one out in the yard. She says, also, he said, there's something wrong with the emergency brake.
Billy Bourbon living the dream. Here's some more with my friend Bob Dorr. Tell me about any things you've done to keep the dream alive, living the dream. Have you talked a little bit about it because you kept a big band together. Have you ever pawned anything? You said you borrowed money from your dad once. What else have you done to have you not gotten paid so your guys in your band will get paid?
Many times.
Living the dream, baby. That's what living the dream is.
Indeed.
Right there.
That's where it takes it back to business and completely away from music. And both of us know that musicians live for that magic. You're up there, you're playing. It could be in front of 10 people, or it could be in front of 100,000 people. It's still the same. You are somewhere else. You are lost. You are impervious to everything around you. You are in what I call that magic spot. No matter what, you have reached that nirvana that nobody or you have not ever experienced in any other kind of experience, but we all live for that magic time. And we're all addicted to that, I don't know, magic endorphins.
That transcendent
There
moment.
has to be some kind of internal thing going on.
That transcendent moment.
You can't stimulate yourself at any time just to have that magic, to me anyway. So
I tell people sometimes if they play golf, it's a little bit like golf because if you're super good, you hit it well every time. But a lot of times, you're hack golfers, you don't hit that sublime shot. But boy, when you do, that makes you come back next week or the next day or whatever. And I find that
we
to be the same
both
with
have
music.
experienced that magic feeling.
Oh, yeah.
And
I've experienced that, man.
the addictive properties to that magic moment that keeps people like you and me looking for that magic.
I'm sure that's what it is.
But the business becomes the anti-magic. It becomes so that in order to set yourself perhaps up for the magic, it's not guaranteed, you have to go through so much anti-magic to get you there for the possibility of still being able to on stage manage what's going on and hit that magic point that sometimes it just becomes one of those negative things. No. I think probably the thing that I have going on is that I am a professional band leader. I may not be the best player in the band. I'm certainly not the best drummer we could find or the best harp player we could find, but I'm the best band leader that all of those people that I'm able to surround myself with know.
Well, people don't stay with you that long if you're not doing it right.
Well,
or,
I'm the classic surround yourself with really good people and step back and let them make you look good.
Yeah, and I've been lucky in my career. I've always attracted good players, and I recognized them when they were there, and utilized them as much as I could.
Mm-hmm.
And my bands have often been the same guy for years and years, even though, especially in Houston, there are a lot of guys playing more than one band, and so I had them if I had them. But if I outbooked the other guys, then they were mine.
Usually work gets people's attention.
Yeah, and if you're giving them regular work, every weekend they're working for you, three or four nights a week they're working for you.
That's exactly true.
They'll be loyal. They should be loyal to you. I would be loyal to them if it was the other way around.
Indeed.
And so if you're hiring. Okay.
Well, same guitar player for 38 years.
Okay, one last question here for you.
Uh-oh.
Have you ever quit playing, or have you ever contemplated quitting playing?
Let's see. I stopped playing music for any kind of money gigs or anything from when I graduated high school until I saw Bruce Springsteen at Hansher Auditorium in Iowa City. And I was re-inspired to immediately play in a band again. Bang. So
I bet. I wish I could have seen him. I wish I could have seen him at that kind of a venue.
Yes, you do. I guarantee you wish. Cover of Time and Life magazine, or Time and Newsweek. That's it. Same time, I went down there at the hotshot FM radio critic. Dude, who's this guy? It took him 8 seconds, maybe. He had me, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that looks fun. I'm going to play in a band again. I didn't know any of that stuff.
I think that is.
Who was your inspiration to stay with it?
Well, Bruce is there, but I want to do that.
Yes.
There's so many. My first live concert of a major band was REO Speedwagon. I date myself a little, my dating of myself. And the bands of the late 70s, Heart, things like that. And I like them all and stuff, but I'm trying to think. I guess it was probably when I'd been married and I wasn't playing in a band. I was a disc jockey at K&E in Norfolk. And
you need to put a little logo up there.
Yeah, I'll throw one on. I'll throw one on, and I'll send it to them. They should give me something.
Yeah.
But Stevie Ray Vaughan came out, and this guy, the guy that I'd been kind of garage banding with, brought the tape over Texas Flood, and that was kind of when I want to do that.
Yeah.
Now I've never been I don't have the ability to play like Stevie. I don't have the ability to play like very many people because my ear isn't good enough. But he definitely inspired me. He definitely influenced me. Stevie Ray, Neil Young, Keith Richards. That would be my and the guys in the Allman Brothers.
Nice.
Those are my guitar influences.
Every single blues person that I've interviewed, I always ask the question, what's your advice? You know, so B.B. King, Muddy Waters, Coco Taylor, Albert Collins, they all had advice, but every single one of them said, do it your way. B.B. King, don't try to be B.B. King. I'm already B.B. King.
And there it is.
And so,
well, I've told
your
more
description is I may not be able to play like Stevie Ray Vaughan, but you can play like Billy Bourbon. And that's the thing.
And I've told people, musicians, when we had this intramural argument kind of about this, you know, are you a cover band? They were asking me. Well, I do songs that people recognize, but I do them the way I hear them, and they come out my way. George can answer to that. Say yes, George.
Yes, I think that's a valid
and then I tell the musicians.
Description.
And I tell the musician, this sounds pretentious. I'm an artist. I don't do impersonations. I'm playing the song. I'm not impersonating another artist.
My claim to fame is, hey, I don't even play my songs the same.
There you go. They're different every time. Every time.
I know the arrangement, but that doesn't mean we're going there.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're the same way. You sought out people who can hang with that, who aren't intimidated by that, a little bit of looseness with.
Who find that as a perk of the group rather than a burden to bear.
There are two kinds of musicians. Well, there's lots of
freedom
kinds of musicians.
to play what I want to.
But there are some guys who want to play the exact arrangement just like the record.
They do. Well, they don't fit in very good with my style. So. and again, it goes back to the hang.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's been good hanging with you.
Likewise.
Thank you very much for coming out to Camp
My pleasure. Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you, George,
Thank you, George.
for letting us in at Camp Run 'em Up.
What a fantastic place. And I love that silver tone amp.
The Mandela Effect hosts the Jam at Rumors every Sunday afternoon from 4 to 8. We have a good old time, and we encourage all musicians to bring their axes and come on down. Here's a song we did by the Beatles. We are kind of a jam band. This one got kind of extended. It's called Tomorrow Never Knows. Well, that wraps up the show for this episode. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. If you do, tell all your friends about it. Share the link. Write comments down below. Click on the subscribe button. I believe it's right up there. We'll see you next time.